The grand ballroom of the Blackstone Hotel was a sea of white lilies and crystal chandeliers. It was a $300,000 production of pure ego. I stood near the buffet, smoothing the silk of my emerald green dress. It was custom-made, understated, and cost more than the bridal gown Sophia was wearing, though she didn't have the eye to recognize quality. I was watching Bradley, my son. My only son. The boy I had raised in a two-bedroom apartment while working double shifts after my husband, Robert, died of cancer. I had built an empire from the ashes of his small real estate firm, but to Bradley's new in-laws, I was just the widow. Then it happened. Sophia, draped in lace and arrogance, raised her glass. The room went silent. "Ladies and gentlemen," she giggled, her voice amplified by the speakers. "I'd like you to meet the old fat pig we have to put up with now. Bradley's mother, Margaret. Don't worry, we've made sure she's tucked away in a corner where she won't ruin the aesthetic." The laughter followed, a wave of high society mockery. Sophia's father, James Harrison, chuckled into his scotch. Patricia, her mother, looked at me with a pitying smirk. I looked at Bradley. He didn't defend me. He looked at his shoes, adjusting his cufflinks, the ones I had bought him, and took a sip of his drink. In that moment, the mother in me died. The CEO took her place. James Harrison walked over, his face flushed with triumph. Now, Sophia, be nice. Margaret is traditional. She doesn't understand our world." He looked at me. I scanning my dress. "A bit bright for a woman of your age, isn't it, Margaret? Maybe stick to beige next time." "James," I said, my voice as cold as the ice in his glass. "Enjoy the party. It's the last one you'll be throwing on my dime." He laughed. "Your dime? Bradley said you contributed. Don't get ahead of yourself, Margaret. This is Harrison Industries' level of luxury. You wouldn't understand the math." I smiled. It was the smile that made hedge fund managers tremble. "The math, James, is actually very simple. We'll discuss it Monday morning. 9 a.m. Don't be late." 2 hours earlier, in the church vestry, I had been the doting mother. I had straightened Bradley's tie, my heart full of memories of his father. "Mom, thanks for the $300,000, he had whispered. "It means Sophia can have the dream wedding. Her family, they have a certain standard, you know? I don't want them looking down on us." "Us, Bradley? Or me?" I had asked. "You know what I mean," he'd snapped. "Just try to stay in the background today. Sophia's family thinks you're just a middle-class widow living off dad's insurance. Let's keep it that way. It's easier." I felt the sting then, but I ignored it. I thought he was just nervous. I didn't realize that my son had been selling my dignity to buy his way into a family that viewed people as assets or liabilities. He didn't know that for 15 years, while he was at boarding school and then his $100,000 a year MBA program, I wasn't just living off insurance. I was a ghost in the market. I was the silent hand acquiring shares of Harrison Industries, the company James Harrison's grandfather had started with my husband's family's capital. Monday morning arrived with a gray Chicago fog. I entered the Harrison Industries headquarters at 8:45 a.m. The receptionist tried to stop me. "Excuse me, do you have an appointment? This floor is for executives only." "I am the executive," I said, not slowing down. I pushed open the double doors of the boardroom. James was there, nursing a hangover, surrounded by his legal team. He looked up annoyed. "Margaret, what are you doing here? This isn't a coffee morning." I took the seat at the head of the table. James's seat. "Out," I said to his lawyers. "Now wait a minute," James started. "James, your CFO, Sarah, is already in my office," I interrupted. "She has spent the last 48 hours helping my team audit your conservative growth. Did you think I wouldn't notice the $10 million in offshore debt you used to leverage the Northside project? Or the fact that your family's personal travel is being billed as corporate expenses?" James turned pale. "Who do you think you are?" I threw a manila folder onto the table. It contained the 51% controlling interest certificates. "I am the woman who owns your chair, your office, and the house your daughter is currently sleeping in. I am Margaret Harrison, CEO of Harrison Industries. And you? You're the man who is about to lose everything because he couldn't teach his daughter basic manners." The next hour was a slaughter. I didn't just fire him, I dismantled his ego. First, I said, the employee benefits. You've been squeezing the staff to pay for your country club memberships. That ends today. I'm injecting $2 million into the pension fund and upgrading the health plans. It's coming out of the executive bonus pool. Specifically yours. I can. And I am. Second, Sophia. She will issue a public apology to me. Not a private oops, but a full acknowledgement of her behavior. If she doesn't, I will call in the personal loans I know you took out to cover her shopping habits. You'll be bankrupt by Friday. She's my daughter. And I'm the woman she called a pig. Actions meet consequences. Then came the hardest part, Bradley. I called him into the office at 11 a.m. He walked in, seeing James sitting broken in the corner. Mom? What's going on? James called me and said you're going crazy. Sit down, Bradley, I said. I looked at my son. I raised you to be a man of character. Instead, I raised a man who hides his mother in a corner, so he can play rich, with people who don't even own the dirt under their fingernails. You told Sophia I was controlling and meddling to explain why I had the money to pay for your life. Mom, I just wanted to fit in. You'll fit in at the bottom then. I've authorized a position for you. Senior associate. $90,000 a year. No more allowance. No more mommy's credit card. You want to be a Harrison? Fine. Work for it. If you're as bright as your MBA says you are, you'll earn your way back into my trust. If not, well, I hear the middle class you despise so much is very resilient. That night, I sat in my husband's study. The house was quiet. My phone was blowing up. Patricia Harrison had called 10 times. Sophia had sent a series of frantic texts, shifting from anger to begging. Mrs. Harrison, please, I didn't mean it. I was stressed. We're family. I didn't reply. I looked at the photo of Robert. You were always too soft on him, I whispered. But don't worry. I'm fixing it. I realized then that my power wasn't in the money or the 51% stake. It was in the fact that I no longer cared what they thought of me. They had called me a pig, a widow, a nobody. But as the sun set over the Chicago skyline, I knew one thing for certain. The pig was running the farm now. And Monday was only the beginning.